Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. My name is DAI, I am a chef, and this channel is all about sharing all the tips, tricks, techniques and recipes that I picked up along the way. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to roast this magnificent slab of beef. So this is a tomahawk for obvious reasons. So this is essentially a ribeye steak which is left on the bone, and as you can see the bone is being trimmed, French trimmed. So this is definitely one of my favourite cuts of beef. It's heavily marbled, as you can see, got a lovely fat content to it. It's deeply rich and beefy in taste, very tender. What I really love about this cut of meat is it's got different sections to it. So this section here along the bone is called the complexus, and that's got a really meaty, beefy flavour. And the main section is the actual ribeye. And then over here, this is my favourite part. This is called the crown or the cap. And this is really tender. And the reason the bone is left in is twofold really. It's one, it looks awesome. It's a good centerpiece for the dinner table. And also the area around the actual bone itself doesn't tend to get as hot as the rest of the steak. So it stays relatively tender. So as well as the beef, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful chimichurri inspired dressing. So chimichurri is commonly eaten in Uruguay and Argentina, and it's normally used to baste barbecue meats, and it typically contains parsley, oregano, chilies, garlic, oil, red wine vinegar, but I'll be substituting the red wine vinegar with rice vinegar, although red wine vinegar will be fine to use, and I'll be substituting the oregano with these gorgeous shiso leaves. These are also known as perilla leaves. You should be able to find these in most Asian supermarkets. They've got a distinct minty licorice flavour with a hint of nuttiness. And finally, I'll also be adding some dark soy sauce. So before we start seasoning the meat, I'm going to share with you my first tip of the day. Take out the beef, or any other meat in fact, at least 1 hour before you start cooking. Just allow it to come up to room temperature. Cooking any piece of meat cold will make it much more tougher than if you were to cook it at room temperature. And also the meat will cook much more evenly. Also at this time you can preheat your oven. So if you've got a fan assisted oven, you want to put it to around 180 degrees Celsius, and that's around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And for a standard oven it's 200 degrees Celsius and 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So the first step is to pat down the beef with a kitchen towel and just remove any excess moisture and blood, like so. Next we're going to use a neutral oil just to coat the beef itself. So today I'm using a light olive oil. You can use a vegetable oil, canola oil, you can use rapeseed oil. Any neutral oil is fine. And the reason we oil the beef itself and not the pan is just to limit the amount of smoke that comes off the pan. So the next step is to season the beef with salt. And when I say liberally, I mean liberally. Beef loves salt and pepper. And you want to really massage the beef, get all the seasonings deep into the beef, get right in between the crevices, really get in there. Oh yeah, really massage that meat. Next, turn your stove burners on high heat. And then place a griddle or pan onto the stove. And leave until the pan gets really hot and starts to smoke. Next, place your tomahawk onto the pan. Oh, listen to that sear. And just press down lightly and just make sure that all parts of the beef are in contact with the pan. You don't want to keep fiddling around with it and moving it around. You want to get a really nice sear to it, so just leave it as it is. Once you've got a nice sear to it, turn over the beef. Wow, look at that. That's exactly what you want. Look at all those brown bits, nice caramelization, bringing out all the natural sugars from the meats. That's where all the flavour comes from when you're roasting. This sear is so important. Next, you want to sear the sides as well. Oh, look at that fat rendering, bubbling away. Gorgeous. Woo. Once you've seared all of the sides, it's time to place into the oven on the middle shelf. So in the bowl is some flat leaf parsley, around 12 stalks. I've also used around 10 shiso leaves. We've also got 1 red chilli. Cut 3 large garlic cloves, or 4 small garlic cloves is fine. First thing to do is to add the olive oil. We're going to add around half a cup, which is around 230 milliliters. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Season with around half a teaspoon of salt. And then 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And then finally add 1 tablespoon of dark soy sauce. Give the sauce a good mix. So after about 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how you like your steak done, take out from the oven. Oh, lovely. Beautiful. So the most accurate way of testing the doneness of your steak is to use one of these. So this is an internal thermometer probe. So I'll put up all the temperatures now up on the screen for your different levels of doneness. So another way to check the doneness of your steak, this is a very approximate way. So just get your hand, press on this part of the hand. This is regarded as raw, this texture. Then next, place your finger onto your thumb very lightly. Touch the same area. This is regarded as rare. Move along to your middle finger. This is regarded as medium rare. Next finger, it's medium. And finally, well done. So what we're going to do next is to let it rest for around 15 minutes and just wrap. So it's been resting for 15 minutes now. Let's place this onto the chopping board. So when always cutting beef, cut against the grain. So as you can see here, the grain is going from left to right. If you can see here, that's the grain there. So you want to cut against it, like this. As Japanese typically use chopsticks to eat, we don't want to cut massive slabs of meat. It's going to be really hard to eat. So I'm going to cut this into separate parts, and then we'll cut into more bite-sized pieces from there. Lovely, so tender. Oh, look at that glisten and jiggle around. Beautiful. Oh, gorgeous. Lovely. Oh, oh, look at that. All those juices running down. That is a lovely medium rare. Still nice and pink. Really tender in the middle. Oh, I can't wait to eat this. I hope you enjoyed watching that video. Let's get straight in. I honestly can't wait any longer. I'm absolutely starving. So let me give you a close-up and let me put a few pieces of steak onto the plate. There we go. What's coming through is the garlic, definitely the garlic, the parsley, the shiso leaves. And I do love spicy, so I'm gonna put a few of these red chilies on top. A bit of a close-up there. See those red chilies? Okay. Let's dig in. Put those red chilies on top. Itadakimasu. My God. Wow. It's so tender. The juices are just gushing out. A bit of fat on the edges, the fat within it, and the marbling. Gives so much taste. And that's why I love ribeye. I've got to tell you, if I can say so myself, this dressing is awesome. Raw garlic, those chilies. The herbs really complement each other. So as I mentioned in the video, I've taken out the oregano from the traditional chimichurri sauce, and I've replaced it with the shiso leaves. I just thought that putting too many herbs in, it's going to give it too many kind of conflicting flavours. So I think this really complements the parsley, and I think the soy sauce just brings another kick of umami to the dish. Let's try and get this to zoom again. How's that? You see the red chilies there, raw garlic, beautiful. Okay. So juicy. Marvellous. So what I would say about this steak is, I know it looks overwhelming, it's massive, but please give it a go. It's really easy. As you saw in the video, I literally just seasoned it, seared it, put it in the oven. 10-15 minutes later, it's done. This will feed probably a family of 3 or 4, depending on how big your appetites are. So I don't know about you, but when I fry steaks for my family, I'm cooking 4 steaks. So I'm needing a really massive frying pan, or I need to use 2 different frying pans. This thing you just cook in one go and cut it up for the whole family. It's perfect, honestly. So good. Let's have one more last bite with some rice. I've loaded this up with some beautiful chilies. So this is like a nigiri sushi with the rice underneath the beef. If I can fit this inside my gob. Yeah. So I nearly made a schoolboy error there. I completely forgot to show you one of the best bits of this tomahawk. And that is this bad boy. So this is obviously the bone, the rib bone. There we go. This has got so much flavour. There's a lot of meat around there. Eating meat off the bone. Is there anything better in life? Oh, so savoury around here with the salt. Can you hear that crunch? That's from the salt and the seared beef on the bone. Beautiful, beefy in flavour. Oh, I'm in heaven. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, see you later. Bye-bye.